Hi everybody, this is Pastor Miguel. Today I want to do a study on the origin of demons, or where the demons come from. Because there's a lot of misunderstanding there. Some people believe that demons are fallen angels, and other people believe that demons are the spirit of the Nephilim, okay? So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, so let's start off with first the fallen angels. Now, fallen angels were cast down to earth twice. The first time was when Lucifer was cast down to earth, with one third of the angels. And the second time was found in Genesis 6, where we see that the fallen angels came into union with the daughters of men and formed a race of giants called the Nephilim. Now, we understand through the book of Enoch what happened to those giants, okay? Well, not the giants, I'm sorry, the fallen angels in the second incursion. Some of those fallen angels are under the earth at this time in chains into the time of judgment. And what we see is that the offspring, the giants, were here on earth. And this is the reason why some people believe that we had the flood of Noah, that the flood of Noah destroyed the Nephilim, most of the Nephilim. Even though there were some Nephilim after the flood, the majority of them were destroyed. All the way down, we see that down. David killed Goliath, and most of the remaining giants were killed by King David. That's why we don't have giants anymore. So when you look at the whole story, we realize that there were two incursions. And the first thing is that one of the things I want to note is in Genesis 6, we realize that before Genesis 6, there's no mentions of evil spirits at all. However, we do see evil spirits after the flood of Noah. So most people believe that it is that we could believe that what happened was the spirit of the Nephilim, because they were half fallen angel and human, that they were not able to be redeemed, and because they were not able to be redeemed, they became what we call as demons. Okay, and this is the reason why we have demonization and possession, because these demons are looking for a body to possess, okay, to be able to walk, to fulfill their needs and pleasures. Okay. So what do I think? I really believe that when we talk about demons, we're actually talking about the spirit of the Nephilim. But there's a possibility, that these principalities that we talk about quite often are in fact fallen angels, okay, that fell down with Lucifer. So there's a combination of what we call fallen angels that fell down with Lucifer and demons. And demons will be the minor ones that just go around causing all kinds of havoc. And the ones in higher positions are what we call fallen angels that fell down with Lucifer, okay? So when we look at that, we realize that, where do we get that idea from? That these Nephilim became what we call demons. Well, if you look at the book of Enoch, and the book of Enoch kind of gives an understanding of what's happening, or what happened. If you look at chapter 15 of the book of Enoch, and I think it's verse 8, it says, "And now the giants who are produced from the spirit and flesh should be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth should be their dwelling." And then if you go to verse 11, it says, "And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, and do battle, and work destructions on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits should rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them." So what we see is that after the flood, these things became what we call evil spirits, and they still thirst. They hungered, and they wanted to pursue their pleasure. So this is the reason why we have demonization and possession, because these things want to possess a body, because they want to fulfill their needs, okay, and their wants and their evil things that they wanted to do. So now keep in mind that these things were a union of fallen angel with women, and so they were really evil. Okay, they were evil because the angels that came down and rebelled against God were really truly evil. And so the offsprings were doing whatever they wanted. They had power, they had knowledge. They were obviously, the Bible calls them men of renown. And so once they were killed, they had no place to go. They were cast down here to earth because they had nowhere to go. And so this is the reason why we see possession and demonization in people. The fallen angels that fell with Satan, they're part of that as well. So we have what we call the demons. This is the minor demons, the ones that are here causing all kinds of trouble. And then my opinion is that these fallen angels that fell with Lucifer are actually the ones who plan things and the ones who sometimes even possess people. Okay, it's what we call, in my opinion, principalities. Okay, so basically that's what we're looking at. And where these demons, this is the original demons. The original demons came from the Nephilim. The Nephilims were destroyed, and their spirits all around the world are trying to look for a body, and that's where we have demon possession. Okay, in conjunction with Lucifer, Satan. Satan is the one that controls all of them. He controls the demons, and he controls the fallen angels, and they do his bidding. Okay, so in conjunction, fallen angels and demons work together for the havoc of the earth and to destroy the works of God and to cause disobedience of God. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk to you is how are aliens somehow related to fallen angels. Okay. Now I don't believe that aliens are demons. I do believe that aliens, the way we see them, are what we call fallen angels. Okay. And the reason for that is, okay, people say angels cannot have bodies, okay? People say that angels cannot have bodies. But the reality is that we see in the Bible quite often where angels showed up and people were able to see them. They ate, they wrestled. So if angels could do that, there's a possibility of fallen angels could do that too. And therefore, when you see these aliens, with the big heads and the big eyes, you have to ask yourself, are they really from, another world? Or are they, fallen angels? In my opinion, these things are fallen angels. And I'll tell you why. I have my suspicion that these things were fallen angels because I had a lot of people come to me for deliverance. And they would say that they saw aliens at their bedside. That these aliens would stand at the bedside. And, some of them were taken. Some of them were not taken. Some of them were freaked out and, call on Jesus and they stop. But a lot of times these things were just showing up on people and they didn't know what to do. And a lot of these people were actually being demonized somehow. So they would come to me, they would say, hey, I saw these things that look like aliens at my bedside and I'm really scared and can you pray for me just in case? So I will pray for people, and then what will happen is that they actually had demons and we were able to cast these demons out of these people. So I sent L.A. Maizuli an email, and L.A. Maizuli, who's an expert in these Nephilim and alien abduction and things like that, I sent him an email asking him what he thought about these people who got implanted with the implants. They did some studies where they implanted people with some probes, and these people these things were taken out and they were dissected, and they didn't know where the stuff was from or whether it was biological or not. So anyway, so I asked the question because of my experience with people who said that they had seen aliens, and I asked them whether or not he felt like these things were demons. And this is what he wrote back to me. He says, "Hi Miguel, nice to meet you. These folks have been abducted against their will. Thus, the implants are forced upon them. In those I've met and talked with, including Bill, whose implant we have extracted, were not demon-possessed. However, in some cases, the people were oppressed and troubled. One man, Al, who is at the centerpiece of our film, in their own words, was tormented by these beings until we led him to Jesus." So there you have it. Hope it helps. So basically, Ella Maizuli was saying that these people, when they were brought to Jesus, these apparitions stopped. And so therefore we must deduce that it's got to be malignant. It's not from God. These things are evil, and they're, they want to, in my opinion, they're falling angels. Then L.A. Marzulli has done a lot of studies on elongated skulls, and if you look at the elongated skulls, they look just like the aliens that most people see with a big head and the big eyes. And he said, they did some studies, and he believes this belief that these things, these elongated skulls, are found throughout the world, are in fact Nephilim, and some of them are made by humans to imitate what they saw, these falling angels. And in fact, if you look at the skull, I have a replica of a skull here. If you look at the skull, you see this elongated head right here. This is found throughout the world. Okay, the same type of look. Okay, and they tested these, and they found out that some of these are in fact a new type of human breed. That's what they call it. You could go to LAMarzulli.com or .org. I'm not exactly sure, but if you Google L.A. Marzulli, you could see that some of these skulls have been tested, and that they found that some of this stuff is actually a new breed of humans. But in reality, since if aliens are indeed fallen angels and they breed it with women, they would create something similar to this, with an elongated head like this, right? The eyes, of course, they're larger than regular eyes. Okay, the sockets are larger, and indeed, if something was to breed, if an alien, like a typical alien with a gray or something like that with a large head, was to breed with a woman, okay, it is possible, very possible, to create something like this, a hybrid with an elongated head, right? And giant. I mean, it's giant in size, huge, in fact, compared to a regular skull. Okay, so when you put all this information together, it's not hard to understand or to believe that in fact these things could be in fact falling angels, and that the elongated skulls that we see are indeed a hybrid of falling angel with human. And therefore we see that even after the flood, we see a lot of cases of incubus and succubus, where demons are still trying to mate with women. Many of my cases that I get are cases of incubus and succubus, demons that are trying to have sex with women in their sleep, sometimes even physically, okay? But you can't really see them. So physically, physically. So we see this quite often during Deliverance, and we are able to help a lot of people get rid of this stuff, because it has been done for generations and generations, where families have suffer abuse, sexual abuse, done by these demons. Okay. So anyways, if you have any questions, you could send me an email at deliverance@gmail.com. I invite you to my website, deliveranceexorcisms.org. You can share the E in the middle for exorcism. If you have any questions, you can also call me, 301-732-3451. And please subscribe to this channel, and God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.